This is something I'm affectionately calling a skyhook. It's basically a piece of wood, and it has another piece of wood to help lock onto the pipe. Skyhook is a very old theater joke about that thing that can hold it up there that doesn't really exist. It's like beam stop or beam bend. Anyways, when I saw this in the studio, I just started calling it a skyhook. I don't know what the real name is. But anyway, I've hinged it, and because we don't have a lift in here, nor do we have a ladder that will allow me to get up and work way up top there without a harness, what I've done is created this little guy. And what I'm able to do here is to clamp this in place, and I have enough leverage, I don't have to get super high, and it locks up against this unit here. So I'm just going to start it through. I'll start 2. And now I have a piece that is, I'm going to have to
the whaler again?
just make sure
You want
the
the whaler?
piece that's locked in there. Sorry?
Can you tap with the whaler?
Now, I'm going to loosen it off, move it over when I know the final position, but what I'm going to use it for is to tie this wall into position. I have to move it over a bit to make it to go, and that means that we won't have to have a jack on the end of this wall so people can walk around it. So I'm just going to leave this up here for now, and excuse me, once I'll probably cut it a little shorter because it's a little long right now. At any rate, so what Mike and boys have done is they've put together this wall. It's going to be a double wall. We're going to sit it on the back of this wall, and what we have to do is make sure that the face of this is in line with the face or the edge of the door jamb. So to do that, we've cut a whole bunch of little spacers. The idea with these guys here is they're going to go from the back of the luan here to the back of the luan here, and it'll keep the wall equally apart all the way across. So the next thing is for us to lift this up, get it in place, and then figure out the spacers. And the cool thing about these spacers is they're so little, you can lever out the wall and put them where you need to. I've often found that unless you're doing an extremely large wall, when you put these little standoff pieces in, if you pre-do them, getting them hooked in, and if there's 6 of them, you're going to get hooked up and some of your math is going to be wrong. So get it on and get it in place is my suggestion. Everybody has a different way of doing it. And then figure out where you can put these to hold it in place. So you can see that we have tied the end of the flat up to the grid there. And I cut off the end of the wood there so it isn't any longer than it needs to be. And then if you come on around here, what you can see are the standoffs that we used. 1, 2, 3. And I put them close to the end. Put this guy in, screwed it in, screwed that one in, and that one there I screwed in. And left the other side loose, but I didn't let it fall off the end. Otherwise, I'd be reseating them. I pushed them in. They're right up against the end of the stile. Went right through the stile to lock them in. The door flat, we screwed around the perimeter, like that. We have blocks on the top, which can just as easily be on the inside. You can see them up top there. We flushed up the flats with the edge of the jamb. The door has the straight plate and it has a bullet catch, and these are just dummy handles, so it locks in place there, hinged in. The door stop does its job. It's not the best hung door in the world, but it'll work. It's just an old door that's an old jamb and it's all twisty, but it is what it is, and it's working. And shim that out so it's tight on that side there. This side here, it hangs over about 6 inches, so it's in line with the edge of the window. So if this ever wanted to be double-sided, this can work here. And then this wild wall is meant to go here. So now they have a corner and they can shoot right through. Shoot right through there. They're probably going to put some sheer blinds on the back of all the windows. One wall can just as easily go here, and it can just as easily go here on the other side there. So for now, what I'll do is I'm just going to bring it around. So we're all done here. It's an okay little set. I mean, it'll never look perfect, but that's not the point. The point is for them to learn how to do lighting and shooting in and around a few doors and windows. And yeah, while talking and kind of going slowly, it took us around 6 hours to get this done. If we weren't filming, it's probably a 4-hour job. And the painting will take a couple hours on top of that, a couple coats. And they're going to go with a neutral gray. Designer who works here suggested that we use a neutral gray. That way they can have the walls appear dark or light, depending on how it's lit. Thanks for watching.